Hi, so I introduced you to the concept of deletion, generalization and distortion in the earlier video, right? And as human being, we delete information very fast. So for example, let me ask you, when I ask you to think about maybe the last dinner which you've had in any of the restaurants, your favorite place, and at the moment you can experience right now itself, so you may like to relax or inhale and exhale and just allow yourself to go to that place where you have had your favorite food and favorite dinner or lunch or coffee or whatever you have had, and see what you see, hear what you hear, feel what you feel as you are at that place, and access all that information being there. Just be there, see all of that which you see, hear and feel. Nice. And as you do so, I invite you to come back over here and you feel something about that place. In that while you access that place so faster, you could see something, you could hear, and you could also feel. Maybe some people obviously would have smelled the food the way the food was. Your favorite place, that was your favorite place, and the information you got from your favorite place, isn't it? Now, if I invite you a little more, being here and observe what you could observe. So, could you see the color of the curtain of that place, the size of the plate, the way the table and the chair were kept, the color of that whole ambience and the different shades in the ambience and the place? Maybe. Or maybe now you're already going to that place now again internally, mentally, and seeing these things as well which you could not see before. Maybe you're also observing the shape of the cutlery, the shape of that mug or that plate or that entire cutlery, the way it was. Maybe you're also observing the different things which were kept on the table, where the table had a tablecloth. Was the table having a tablecloth or not? Or maybe you're observing the way the glasses were kept. Or maybe you're observing the way the people are around and the way they were. Or maybe you're observing the people around and the way they were. So there's something which you're still more observing, and the way you're looking like it now. You may also observe the sound of the music playing there, which you may haven't observed before. The sound of that music, the sound of that water coming to that glass, the sound of that maybe waiter asking you something, or the sound of the people around, the sound of that movements of cutlery happening in that place, the sound of that wind chime maybe somewhere there, or the wind coming, or the AC or the fan, whatever it is, or maybe the kind of a bell. In some restaurants you have that bell and the sound of the bell which was also there. And you feel the smell of that food. The moment the food came onto your table, the moment the food came into the other table, you also smell that. The way you are feeling when you smell the food, the way the food came on your table, you tasted it, it came on your tongue, and then some more feeling change which happened when it went into your stomach and you felt satisfied with that food. Now, did you notice that there was some information which was captured and there was some information which you just got now aware of? And there is also some information which you have got aware of, but then it wasn't captured before, isn't it? And while I was talking to you, while I was asking you, you got it. Oh, okay, yeah, it was there. I could not recognize that. And maybe there is still some information which you haven't captured at all, right? So we human delete information based on the memories which we are going. So we go and think about that dinner or that lunch or that place, and we are not so aware about things which we are deleting and things which we are not deleting, right? And that just happens. We delete the data. and we delete the data very fast. We are not aware of this deletion which happens automatically. Well, you will ask, Ridhima, how is it necessary to capture the data which is all around, like the color of the place, the ambience, or the sound? How much information can I carry, or how much information should I carry? So yes, of course, you're right. It's not necessary, and neither it is useful to carry all the data around. It's not possible, in fact. Maybe it is possible, but then it's maybe not useful. However, something which would be useful is to notice the data which we delete around something useful, which is relationships. We delete the data which we are capturing, and that is about maybe a conversation. We delete the data which we are carrying, and we are carrying a perception of the data and not the data, isn't it? Right? Personally, professionally. So the fact is, we are quickly deleting and generalizing as well. These are the filters in our brain. That's what we talked about. And we generalized based on what I have captured and not actually based on the reality. That's a presupposition which I've mentioned before. We are responding to own map of reality, our own map of reality, but not the reality. And we are responding to the deleted information which may have got missed by me. So, what is this concept of expanding maps? Why am I talking about expanding maps and deletion and distortion and generalization and relationships to utilize more different data? How is that coming in? Now think about this. So many times we generalize people around us, right? We say he's like that, she's like that. If I will say this to my friend, he is going to respond that way only. If I will say this to my boss, he's going to respond that way only. If I am going to say something like this to my spouse, he or she is going to respond in that way only. There is one way, in the way I am perceiving, or you are perceiving, or people are perceiving the reactions already before the transaction, which means conversation, before the conversation is actually happening, right? So we are perceiving our own map of reality instead of giving a chance to that reality to have some other options. And we have a fixed perception made, and because of this, the communication lacks any growth. There is no choice left to develop a healthy relationship, because there is that fixed mindset and a fixed perception that this is the way it is going to be. So how would we have it until we change the perceptions, until we look inside? And that is what they say, that is what Buddha said, look inside and change your own perception. And that is the next technique about. The next technique about is perceptual positions in NLP, which can be definitely used and used by so many people, and I have used it myself, for expanding our own maps of reality. So let's assume we all know that we are generalizing and we are deleting information, right? And can we expand the maps and filters and we capture more information? And when we capture new information, like the way you captured new information about this restaurant now, which wasn't there before, maybe now you're aware of that kind of the curtains, or the color of the curtains, or the sound of that music, or the feeling which you now know came in much before the food came in. Maybe just like it came in before the food came into your table, and the smell of the food from the other table, right? So you deleted information before as well. So now you know that you can capture more information, just like the way the restaurant thing happened. So how do we capture this information? Is basically by shifting positions. That's what we do in the exercise. That's what the entire process is. From one place to the other, we shift the positions. Think about it. If you see anything from the left angle and you see the same thing, same picture from the right angle, you will have more information, right? So we shift positions so that we shift filters internally at the experience level and have more information. And let me tell you, you're going to experience this exercise again, as it can only be done by experiencing. Before I take you to the experience of this exercise, let me make it a little more clear. Perceptual positions or perceptions, you might have heard this word multiple times, right? And you might have also heard people saying, can you understand my point of view? See things from my point of view. Hear things from my point of view. So that's what NLP literally actually helps in. By becoming the same person, I'm not talking only about empathy here. I'm talking about by literally becoming the second position, by becoming the same person. So let me give you a little funny example. Think about the Joker. And when you see the Joker in the circus, you are an audience, you're seeing the Joker in the circus and you are laughing, you are having joy, you are giggling, all of that, sitting over here, seeing how is he moving, etc. And you are enjoying having some popcorns, maybe if you like, or having something, whatever you want, and being with your friends and having this joy inside you. Now, if I ask you to shift the position, which means I'm asking you to wear Joker's cloth. So I'm asking you to become the Joker, become that clown. So replace the position, go and actually become him and perform in front of others. You will have different feelings altogether, isn't it? So how did you just now got this different feelings? Becoming Joker? Being there in front of people and performing? You are getting it because you are first you were an audience and now you are actually going and becoming that second person, the way he is like the way he is wearing the clothes loose, the way the color of the cloth is, the way the nose of the clown, the red clown on your nose is, the way your shade of the face changes, yeah, the way your eyes are painted, the way you have that kind of a hat or cap. So you're wearing all of that, you're becoming all of that, the way he is moving, the way he is giggling, the way he is making the faces, all of that, the way he's doing, what is he doing inside, the way he's talking inside himself, the way he's feeling inside himself while you start doing all of this, the way standing, moving, all of that. So what you just became, the shift just now happened inside you, physiologically, neurologically, and you're capturing just now in this minute while listening and experiencing. If you're experiencing, you're capturing more data. The moment you capture this more data, your unconscious, which is having more information, and you shift this moment. And this time you were not you, you were the clown and not you. And the moment you became the clown, you had a different feeling altogether, isn't it? So that's what we do in the perceptual positions. And of course, something which is very important in perceptual position is to become the second person cleanly, just the second person, without any perceptions of the second person, becoming just like that, physiologically, internal dialogue, with the tonality, with the way the person sits, with the way the person is, all of that. And let's do that right away. In a moment, I'm going to take you through the exercise which is called Perceptual Positions, and you may have already thought about a person with whom you would like to have more choices in relationships, and you might like to think about to have more information about this person. You know this person very well, you have seen this person, person is close to you, you have seen, you have heard, you have felt, you have all this information already, the physiology, the pitch, the tonality, you already have it. And now we're going to do this exercise, and while I will take you through this exercise, I'm going to stand and show it to you 3 different positions which physiologically we will take. And my suggestion is, do this exercise standing if you can, or use chairs to shift the chairs and the positions, and do it that way. So we are going to do perceptual position exercise standing, and just before we do it, I would love you to know that this exercise is done with 3 different positions standing. One is you yourself, second is that second position as the way I was describing you, the joker, and the third position is the position of a clean observer. You as your own coach who doesn't have any perceptions, any filters about the first or the second person. So you become completely clean as a coach and observe things from a distance, just like a coach from the aircraft observing things from a distance and observing what can be done, what resources can be given, and that's all. Okay, let's do it now. So you have already thought about a person or a relationship in which you have some conflict or you like to have more choices in. You have that second person already in place, and please make sure that you're taking a lighter conflict here as we do this exercise, and maybe if there is something very harsh, we can do it together, right? So taking something which is light as a relationship and a conflict, and you know that there are 2 positions. One, the position in which you are. So this, for example, the way I'm moving this side is your position, and I would be asking you to step into your position and see, hear and feel about how you are in that context, in that relationship at that moment. Then I would ask you to shake it off and come out of that position, and then take the second position this side. So you can have as much distance as you want. It is completely dependent on you. The more the distance, the more the cleaner you can also have that. So see the second person, the way the second person is like, and then I will ask you to step in the second person's shoes as if you're wearing the second person's skin and become the second person, okay? After that, I would ask you to shake that also off, and then I will ask you to go back in that triangle and go back as much back as you can, okay? And take this third position as your coach. Means you are your own coach. You are the one who is the coach. So think about that coach at the higher level, the way you think about yourself as a coach, or you already have a model as a coach, and the coach the way the coach thinks like, and become the coach and take the physiology of the coach. For example, my physiology of the coach is like this, okay? So take that physiology of the coach. All right, so let's do this exercise right now. So I invite you to come in center and think about that context which you already have. Take a deep breath and look there, the way you are, the way you are sitting, the way you are talking, the way you are internally, and step in and become you. The way you are in this context, in this conversation. Say whatever you want to say to the second person. Feel all that what you were feeling. Sit exactly, stand exactly the way you were talking to the second person, and do that internally. Take your own time. And as you do, become aware of the feelings internally, the way you're feeling internally inside. And then shake it off. Shake it off, shake it off, shake it off, shake it off, shake it off your feelings, shake off your feelings, shake off your feelings, shake off your feelings. So you can shake off like that, you can shake with the jump if you want. If it is very associated and you're so associated, so you can look left, look at the back, and then come back here. Look at the back, then come back here. Look at the back and then come back here. Like very fast. Okay, and now look at the second person. You are no one looking at the second person. The way the second person is, the way the second person is talking, like the words. How is he sitting? How is she sitting? How is he or she talking? What words, what tonality? And now step in and wear the skin of the second person and become completely like this person. And I'm becoming the second person. I'm adjusting my physiology, the internal dialogue, the way he, she talks like, and I'm talking that way. Feel what you feel at this place. Stay there for some time. And as you are done, then shake off the second person. Shake off the second person. And now you are this third person as an observer at the higher level. And think about your own coach, your own model, the way your coach stands like, talks like, moves like, thinks like, walks like, and take this third position as a coach, as if you are at the higher level like an aircraft, and sitting, standing like as a coach. Take your physiology and now only observe both of the people. Observe the first one, the way the first person is sitting, talking, breathing, rate of speech. Okay. The second person, the way the second person is sitting, talking, rate of speech. Gather the information. And as a coach, what is that resource? What is the learning? What is the learning and what is the resource which you can give to self there? Gather as much information as you want as a coach. And then think about that resource which is there as a coach coming to you, and you would like to give it to that first position over there. Gather the learnings, think about that resource and walk with that resource and these new learnings to the first person. Gather this information here, take your own time and access the change in the feelings at this position. The way now you feel like about this thing. Okay, access this change. Thank you to your unconscious to do this for yourself and come out to your learning position. And now when you think about this and access this first position again. And as you access now, observe the changes internally. Thank them and slowly come back to your learner position. And you're here. We will sit and talk about it more. So that was the exercise which you just experienced, and you could notice the changes in yourself, in your feelings, right? So this is one way to notice the difference and expand the maps, notice the difference of what I was missing, the data from the position 2, which means as a joker, there was something or some feelings or some information which I was missing. And then when I come back to the position 3rd as a coach, I can find out what information can I now give to position 1 as well. So that's one way. This means that this is not the only way for gathering more data and information. In my opinion, perceptual position exercise is a wonderful exercise which can be done to understand people better. While you become position 2, something which is very important is that you are completely in clean state and having no judgments about the position 2 while you come in. So the clean states in both the states, position 2 and position 3, is very, very important. That's one important fundamental while you do the exercise itself. So your states are clean. Some more examples of position 2 which I would like to give it to you is like the way mom knows by looking at us that how are we feeling, and she feels that joy or that pain exactly the way we are feeling. So she is actually running not her position, she is running our position inside. So women, they say that generally they live in the position 2 and they don't live too much in the position 1, and then when their kids are married they come back to find out their own positions. Well, that's a different concept. Another example of position 2 is think about a coach who is training, say, kids in specific coaching, and the coach is running a position 2 when he is finding out that which specific muscle muscle to be targeted and to be stretched or worked upon more, and which specific exercise is not being done exactly and the muscle is not being worked upon. So the coach knows what is happening. By running himself, he runs the position 2 as internally with the macro muscle movement. So we learn a lot in the classes about macro muscle movement, gauging, knowing, noticing the position 2 which you would take in the class. I would also identify that how are you doing, how can you take it more cleanly, what are you doing etc. Another way to do this exercise is you can do it with yourself. It is not necessary that you need to have a second person. You yourself are having many positions, right? So you are a parent and you are a professional. So you might have an inner conflict and you would like to have a dialogue within self. So you can have one position as a parent, or one position as a professional, and the third position as a higher coach, and identify and notice the differences and can exchange the resources depending on what intention do you want to serve. It's a very interesting exercise, and we can learn more deeper how to utilize this exercise while you are as a coach, while you are as a person, individual in your work. Let's learn more in the classes. I'll see you there. Keep practicing this and change your states while you change positions. Thank you.